Hezbollah bombs Israeli Defense Ministry in Tel Aviv. 2 IDF bases accurately hit, quote-unquote, accurately hit. Tel Aviv, Hezbollah rains Fadi-6 missiles on oldest IDF airbase hosting most advanced jets that could also include F-35. Hezbollah rocket blitz terrorizes Israelis in Haifa. Daily attacks ravage the port city. We'll be talking more all of this in details in a second, but before I move on, just to remind you guys, most of my viewers are not subscribed. If you happen to be one of them, consider subscribing. But let's start with this news first. I think a lot of you are talking about this particular news where it is said that Erdogan, he said, we have cut off relations with Israel. President Erdogan answered questions from reporters on his plane as he returned to Turkey after visiting Saudi Arabia and Azerbaijan. Erdogan responded to claims that trade between Israel and Turkey was continuing. Erdogan said, we have cut off relations with Israel. We do not currently have any relations with Israel at this point. We do not intend to take any steps to develop these relations in the future. Now, not the announcement that is surprising to me, but it is actually the timing of it. Maldives, Saudi Arabia called this genocide. Maldives cut ties with them. Iran is obviously building underground tunnels with Qatar. A lot of these recent developments are taking place when? Right after Donald Trump has won the election. This is why the timing is so important. Nevertheless, we have some other reports suggesting that Turkey is really not doing anything. In fact, there is this report on social media showing that there are some ships still been tracked going from Turkey to Israel. We need to hold everyone in Turkey accountable and demand answer. What is really happening? Are they really cutting ties with Israel, or is this just a fuss? We really need to get into the bottom of it. But I personally believe, because of social media, because people like you and me, we're always talking about Turkey's relationship with Israel and that they are just all about talks, not any action. I think, I have a good feeling that the government in Turkey, especially Erdogan, he is taking notice of that. Why? Also because not just online, but also offline protest. Take a look at this one. This happened in, I believe, London, and people were coming in masses to protest the relationship Turkey has with Israel, and they're demanding that relation has to end. And this is what we have seen in London. And then you have another protest happening inside, actually in front of Turkey's embassy, and this happened in, I believe, Turkish embassy in Tokyo, Japan. And people are always, in this case in Japan, they're also coming out to protest the invasion of Gaza, and this is happening again in front of the Turkish embassy in Tokyo. So it is not just that Turkey all of a sudden realized that we need to do something about this. It is actually the people who are putting this pressure. So our voice matter, your voice matter, all of our voices matter. Now, Scott Reeder, he made actually a point a few weeks ago, and he said, this is the red line for Turkey. What is the red line? Well, if they attack Lebanon, Israel, if they attack Lebanon, then Turkey will invade Israel. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Israel is not the friend of America. We need to understand that, because friends don't let friends drive drunk. Israel is a tool that's used for America for its purposes. And right now, the Arab-Israeli conflict, the Palestinian conflict in Israel, is being used by American politicians to position themselves for victory in November, even though the cost of that victory could be Israel, could be the Middle East, could be the world. And then, lastly, about the nuclear weapons. Unfortunately, Israel, like the United States, has stopped a long time ago, stopped talking about nuclear weapons as a force of deterrence, meaning I have nuclear weapons. We will only use them when an existential threat is brought up. And then the result would be so horrific that nobody will dare come at us. Israel today speaks of using weapons in Lebanon that have never been used before and have unprecedented levels of destruction. I believe Israel has developed a low-yield neutron bomb, the kind of bomb that the United States, kind of weapon the United States developed for use in Europe to appease the Germans, meaning that when the Soviets came across in the old Cold War, that we would use neutron bombs, highly intense radiation, minimal destruction, very low long-term contamination. The radiation in the blast kills people, and then a week later, you can come back in and live. The Israelis have developed these neutron bombs, and these are the weapons that Israel will start out with against Lebanon. They will be dropping these neutron bombs designed to take out Hezbollah, designed to collapse structures, etc. In the belief that there is such a thing as a limited nuclear war. What Israel doesn't understand, and I wish nations like Pakistan would make it more clear, that if Israel uses nuclear weapons, the prohibition against using nuclear weapons against Israel is lifted, and that inevitably Israel will be struck by a nuclear weapon that says made in Pakistan. Whether the delivery system is Pakistani or Iranian, we have yet to see, but Israel will not get away with using nuclear weapons, even if they are low yield, even if they are neutron bombs.
Okay, so basically he's talking about the nuclear weapon used by, or will be, or if nuclear weapon is used by Israel. Obviously, that is not something Israel would dare to do. However, there is this another report that suggests that Turkey's defense chief, he warned that Israel could attack Turkey. I don't see that happening because Israel is not capable of attacking Turkey. Okay, so make it very, very clear that Israeli Air Force and their military is not powerful enough to attack Turkey, not even attacking Hamas or Hezbollah targets. They cannot even win against Hamas. They use this hyperbole that we're going to be attacking Iran and Turkey and this country, that country. We're going to expand the greater Israeli territory. These are all BS. They are just trying to give us this impression that somehow Israel is invincible and that they can reach any part of the world and invade other countries. Again, that is absolutely wrong. Hezbollah, so let's take a look at this report first. Hezbollah has claimed to have launched a drone attack targeting Israel's military headquarters and defense ministry in central Tel Aviv's Kiryat base. It also said that its squadron of drones accurately hit targets at Amos base and a base belonging to Army's 146th Division in Nahariya. The Iran-backed group stated that it fired missiles towards IDF Hermes 450 and 900 drones and forced them to exit Lebanon's airspace. Tel Aviv, Hezbollah rains Fadi-6 missiles on oldest IDF airbase hosting most advanced jets. In a bold escalation, the Iran-backed Hezbollah group released footage of a major attack on Israel's Tel Nof airbase located southeast of Tel Aviv. The strike, which targeted one of Israel's oldest and most critical airbases, was reportedly carried out using advanced Fadi-6 rockets. This follows Hezbollah's claims of hitting 3 Israeli military bases in separate operations, including a direct strike on the Hahotrim Air Base and a logistical base east of Nahariya. Now, Hezbollah also have blitz Hezbollah's rockets blitz terrorizes Israelis in Haifa. Daily attacks ravage the port city, and I have mentioned about this, how Haifa is taking the hit and on the verge of complete destruction. Hezbollah and Houthi missiles attacks have caused major damage to the Israeli port city of Haifa, severely impacting its economy. Haifa Mayor Yona Yahav confirmed that the city's economy is under extreme stress due to continuous shelling, stating, quote, "Everything has come to a standstill. When a city and its resources, its people come to a standstill, you can paint the rest of the picture, which is it is completely or almost, as I said, on the brink of total collapse." Now, there is another report, guys, that suggests that 7 Israeli soldiers in South Lebanon were killed, and not only that, is the bad news for Israel, but also there are many other bad news. So let's see what Hamas is doing. The Al-Qassam Brigades, the military wing of Hamas, published video footage of its fighters clashing with Israeli occupation forces in the center of Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza Strip. This is the camp where Israel came back at least now 4 or 5 times. I would say maybe 10 times. They fight, they secure the area, they empty it out from Hamas fighters, only to find out the next thing is that the Hamas is back in that area. Means Israel cannot leave a place in the, especially in this Jabalia camp refugee area, and then the next thing they will do is once they leave, yeah, we have to go back. And this is frustrating the Israeli IDF terrorist forces because they don't really want to do it anymore. The video showed an Israeli force holed up inside a house near Yemen al-SYED hospital in central Jabalia before it was attacked by Palestinian resistance fighters. The video also referenced what Al-Qassam called death ambushes. So that these ambushes are taking place on a regular basis every single day, and they're very, very effective. It started with fighters preparing and planning explosive devices which were detonated in a markup tank near the Barawi Junction, a military maintenance crew, and a personnel carrier. Earlier today, Al-Qassam said that it had targeted in conjunction with the Jihadi Jibril Mortar Brigade's occupation forces stationed in the Netzarim axis with Type 107 rockets. There are so many devastation taking place right now as we speak in Gaza that it is sometimes not possible to give you all the tally because of the time limit we have on this channel. But the bottom line is that resistance forces, they're winning, and this is also happening when Israel is now recalibrating the whole situation with Hezbollah, and they are now willing to go on a ceasefire, even though some of the ministers from the Zionist, the monster Netanyahu, disagree with the ceasefire with Hezbollah. But nevertheless, this is what is happening right now on the ground, because it was confirmed by United States that yes, they're working on a ceasefire deal. And the reason why I believe that Israel or IDF, they would desperately want a ceasefire is because of the casualties. 7 soldiers got killed. Yesterday we reported several other soldiers getting killed. We have also reported how the place Gaza has become a graveyard for the Zionist forces, especially its high-ranking officials. Most of them are getting killed, and they now do not want to go there with all their bulldozers, their engineers, because those engineers, they have to go inside of the tunnel to figure it out, how this tunnel was built and how they can infiltrate, how they can go in to attack or destroy the tunnel. They are not doing that anymore because it is becoming impossible for them logistically, also in terms of manpower. Nobody wants to go there anymore. So Gaza is now empty. What we see today is just aerial bombardment by Israeli fighter jets. But rarely you will see now these days Israeli military's presence there. What they do, they commit genocide even more. But guys, every time they go there, they meet Hamas. Sometimes point blank they get shot by a Hamas fighter, the resistance forces. Some other times it's just a one-on-one battle, but at the end of the day, it is not panning out very well for the Zionist forces. They're getting fed up. They don't want to do it anymore. And now, of course, with Donald Trump, he's probably going to be looking into this and tell Netanyahu that, hey, you cannot win. Because remember, Donald Trump, he said that Hezbollah is very, very smart. That's what Donald Trump said, not what Hezbollah chief said or anybody or Iran said. It's Donald Trump. Before election, he said Hezbollah is very, very smart. Means a message to Zionist state that you cannot win against them. So back off. Thank you guys for joining this session. If you have any comment, leave a comment in the comment section below. Dorothy, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.